Happy Monday, people.
Happy Monday.
What's going on?
How you doing?
You
Yeah, I'm good, man. How you doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah, bro, I'm good, bro.
Yeah, you know, just chilling, a little bit illin. You know how we do.
It's kind of a quiet one. We're going to try and keep it light.
We're going to keep it light. I feel as though it has gone a little bit quiet on the old gaming front recently.
I do think that the COVID has halted all movement on the gaming industry as a whole, the movie industry as a whole. The movie's broke. It's gone. It's
the
everything.
cinema is dead out.
It's dead.
It's finish.
If I finish, the chef has already cooked it and gone home. Like, it's one of those things where movies it's a wrap. I think it's a wrap. We're walking into the dawn of anime now. People at home just drawing.
Brother, I'm considering a Crunchyroll subscription.
I already considered a Crunchyroll.
This is how deep it's getting. Like, I finished Hellsing recently.
What did you think?
Dope.
Really?
Yeah,
I haven't watched it in a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's because you watched the original one that came out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right?
That one.
Yeah. So comparing the new one to the original one that came out years ago.
By the way, guys.
Yeah, this is a Hellsing anime.
Yeah.
Well, what is Hellsing? Furthermore, like
you tell that story. You just watched it.
That's true. That's true, actually. So Hellsing is based upon an organization called Hellsing.
Yeah.
Ran by a woman called she's called Sir Integra.
I love names like that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And not to give too much away, but let's say she keeps a certain monster down in her basement to fight off other monsters. Basically, I don't want to say too much about the story.
Don't go into too much.
Yeah. I don't want to go too much into it because it is actually a really good storyline. And the original anime came out like I don't know. It feels like 15 years ago now.
Oh, really?
It feels like that. It could have been more, but then the next one that was more based on the original manga.
Yeah.
Because the original anime that came out, it kind of started in one place and then just turned left.
Yeah.
Whereas the second anime that came out stuck to the manga. Anyway, point being, it's really good.
It's really good. All right, let's put a pin in that.
Yeah,
I want to come back to that.
I
want to come back to that. So, brief bit on the news. It's going to be really short because there's not a lot of stuff to report on. Like I said, I feel like with the movies and the games, everything's getting pushed, everything's getting denied.
Just get cozy with your Netflix and your Amazons, guys and girls, because this is what it's going to be.
It's going to be a cold winter.
It's going to be
get
cold.
Your games out, man.
Get your games out. Get your hot chocolate in.
Because there's no excuse at this point to say that you ain't got nothing to play.
Oh, for real.
For real, right?
Yeah.
We are getting. I'm digressing again, but we are getting to a point where we're starting to sit there going, you know, if you have an Epic Games account, then you're definitely okay because they release free games.
Yeah.
Every other day, right?
Yeah, you're covered. I mean, even if you have, you know, like not PS Now, what do you call it? PS Plus. I mean, you know what my back catalogue is like. I've got loads.
Oh, man. But it's that thing of with PS Plus games, Epic Games, and Steam. Man, it's going to be a good. Well, it's not going to be a good winter, but you're going to have things to do.
You're going to have things to do, yeah.
And if
you'll be
love
fine.
You guys to let us know what you're playing over the winter period, like
yeah, you should actually just hit us up in any comments and
anywhere where you can find us.
Send us a screen grab on tonesandthebiz at IG.
What's Instagram? What's the hibernation games, guys?
The hibernation
mine is
game.
going to be Ghost of Tsushima Legends. The new Ghost of Tsushima Legends DLC dropped. It's basically like a live service game. It is multiplayer. Yeah. Kind of, I get Left 4 Dead vibes. If anyone knows what Left 4 Dead was, well, it's that thing of like four players go out into the world. Yeah, you know, you do like the story modes, and you get gear, and you level up, and I played it for a little bit. It's really, really good.
It does look phenomenal, and I feel as though, sorry to cut you off there, Tones, but I do feel as though that Sucker Punch has kind of set a new benchmark,
set a standard for what gaming
should be,
or the direction it should be going,
So all of you other developers out there and all you other publishers, please take note.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because that leads me. That's my first bit of news actually. Ghost of Tsushima Legends dropped. It's very, very good. If you have Ghost of Tsushima, then you should get the Legends. If you haven't, then you should get it. Get Ghost of Tsushima and play it. Yeah. Second bit of news.
I need to do that too.
Yeah, you need to get on that. Second bit of news is Blizzard.
Okay, Blizzard.
So after
what's happened, Blizzard?
Blizzard have officially said they are no longer developing new content for StarCraft 2.
Everything finish.
They're like, we can't sustain this. What's interesting is I didn't know they were still doing that. Right. I know that StarCraft 2 is a very, very popular game. I have a friend
it's also very old, isn't it?
It's 10 years. It's got over 10 years old. Yeah. More than 10 years old.
Jesus.
And they're saying they're going to continue supporting StarCraft 2 in the same manner as they have with previous games, focusing primarily on what our core and competitive communities care about the most.
Okay.
This is a quote. What this means is that we're not going to be producing additional for-purchase content, such as commanders and war chests.
Right.
But we will continue doing season roles and necessary balance fixes moving forward. So I reckon they're just
necessary balance fixes, yeah. So what they feel is necessary before they...
I mean, you're 10 years deep. At what point do you go, we still need to keep tweaking that? I mean, you should kind of get it. Like I said, I like StarCraft 2. I played the stories, but I'm not a competitive player. So I don't know, but it feels like it's like, Street Fighter 5 going, we're going to keep nerfing and buffing characters. It's like, why? Like, you're 6 years deep. Like, allow it. Just
leave it,
Just leave it. Let's abandon it. The project's done.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Just leave it alone.
So that's the only kind of news I have, was that StarCraft 2 is kind of a wrap. Maybe, they're sitting there going... They did say... Blizzard said this change will free us up to think about what's next, not just with regard to StarCraft 2, but for the StarCraft universe as a whole.
The StarCraft universe as a whole.
So potentially we could be getting some StarCraft 3 action, maybe some spin-offs. Who knows? It's a good universe. It's really nice. And I'm hoping Blizzard can pull themselves back from the abyss that they've thrown themselves into.
Yeah, because they've really had a hard go of it over the last year.
The
last 12 months, they've just gone from depths to depths.
Tragic. So, that was the only news I thought that I'd want to share with you guys. Did you have anything?
I mean, it's been a bit quiet. I mean, the only other thing is Mortal Kombat.
Oh, right.
Mortal Kombat 11. Yeah, they've just dropped their new trailer for Reign.
Well, yeah, so the 3 characters coming out in this pack, which was Milena.
Yeah, Milena, Reign, and who was the third one?
Rambo,
yeah.
And so, the 3 movie stars of this expansion for MK11 is Terminator, RoboCop, and Rambo.
Classics.
I don't like the Milena redesign.
You're not feeling that?
No, I think she looks weird.
All right.
I don't know.
Say how you really feel, man.
I think they're going with that original, like almost. I think it's an original look,
right?
If I'm not mistaken. I'm not a fan. I don't think she...
I don't know if that was her, because with this release, she's got the mask. She's got her hair out in a bob.
But it's like short now.
But wasn't it always like?
No,
I'm getting into pedantics now.
It down, but it's just like, I don't know. I'm just not sure.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't like it.
Okay.
It's Rambo
not bad.
Looks great.
I just don't like it.
Rambo looks good. We're into Rain. The Rain gameplay trailer did look very good.
It did look very, very good, and he looks like a very I can't find a better word to use. Fluid sort of fighter. It did dawn on me that he seems to have all the moves you could want. Like, he's got a projectile. He's got a couple of projectiles. He can projectile himself. He's got teleports as well, which, is a bit of a gripe with me with Mortal Kombat, but I digress. But on the whole, he does look very, very impressive.
You're impressed?
Yeah. No, he does look impressive though. Like, all of that aside, for some reason, out of all of the DLCs of characters that they've released thus far, he seems like, okay, yeah, I could probably get to grips with this one.
I'm kind of over it. Like, I was such a big MK guy when I was all over it. I was playing after in hours.
Yeah.
And then I just got sick of fighting Scorpion.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that happened to me. I mean, like, Kung Lao was my boy.
Yeah, man, he was also a great player.
Kung Lao was like, if you knew how to use him properly, he was just devastating. But then, we found ourselves in the Shoto trap.
Yeah, but for those who don't know, Shoto is a style in Street Fighter, which is like Ryu, Ken, Dan.
Yeah.
Akuma. And they're Akuma, and they're very specific styles, and there seems to be a thing, and it just doesn't go for everyone, where everyone just picks them.
Yeah, because it's easy to just keep your distance and spam the fireballs, right? So,
and it's the same with Scorpion. He's got a teleport. He's got the get over here, the chain. Yeah, so the spear, it's called.
Sub-Zero as well.
Sub-Zero is the same, and it's the ninjas. It's the ninjas in the Shotos.
Yeah. But I feel like they should just be in their own game and just cross it.
Yeah,
and fight
it's cool. They look great. Rain definitely looks the greatest. I mean, they haven't released the other 2 trailers yet, but Rain looked great.
Yeah, no, he did. He did look really, really good, to be fair. So, I don't know.
We'll see.
Maybe I'll do I'll dip a little toe in soon.
Oh,
maybe.
yeah.
So, yeah,
I'm just counting down to Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
which circles me back.
Oh yeah.
You see that?
Oh yeah, I see what you did there.
The anime look.
Yeah. Oh,
the anime look, right? So this is the question I have for you.
Okay.
We might be digressing slightly away from games, but I'm going to bring it back.
No. It's all relative.
So you talk about you saw Hellsing recently.
Yes.
You really enjoyed it.
Loved it.
Obviously, with the way things are going, people are starting to bury themselves in slightly more Netflix and Amazon, and Disney Plus are releasing stuff just for them now.
Yep. Yeah.
Onwards coming out, which is the new Pixar film, which looks great with Jamie Foxx. Amazon dropped Love and Monsters that I really want to watch.
Yes. Yeah.
We can do that later. We go watch Love and Monsters.
See that.
My question is, I've been watching a lot of anime now. For some reason, I don't know why, it's caused a lot. I used to watch a lot of anime as a kid, and then obviously I've just always watched anime.
What was your first anime that you ever watched? Sorry to jump in, but have you got a memory of that?
It's got to be Dragon Ball. I think it was Dragon Ball.
That was your first ever one?
I think it was my first one.
I mean, that's a pretty big one.
But it was on TV. That was the thing. When
it was on Cartoon... No, was it on Cartoon Network? I can't remember.
But it was one of those things that Dragon Ball Z was always on TV.
Yeah.
It was on whatever channel it was on.
Yeah.
Between that and then, obviously, people don't count it as anime, but it kind of was Pokemon.
It's an anime.
It's an anime, right?
Yeah.
So between Pokemon and Dragon Ball, that was the kind of two that I watched. And then my cousin, he's not my cousin anymore. My cousin, he is my cousin still, obviously. My cousin started watching a lot of anime, like a lot.
Yeah.
And I was hanging out with him, and I remember being like, "Oh, what's this? What are you watching?" And it was all like the weird, obscure stuff.
Okay. What, like that Legend of the Everything stuff?
No, I don't know, stuff like that.
Okay. Not that far.
Not that dark.
Okay. Come back a bit.
But it was like he would be watching Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes.
And
great
stuff like that. And I think that was the first memory I had of this is really cool. And then Hunter x Hunter, Naruto.
I should do Hunter x Hunter. Bleach. I've tried. Yeah. Twice I've tried with Bleach.
#filler. Oh, wow. And the same with Naruto. Like, Naruto is amazing. I've always loved the Naruto Sasuke thing. Rock Lee is my boy.
My favourite character out of the unit. Do you know what's funny, though? Like, because I've been considering getting a Crunchyroll, just to digress a little bit.
Yeah.
Considering getting a Crunchyroll, and I found myself thinking, could I continue with the Naruto verse? Like, just to...
Where would you start?
Just to know what... I know where I would start. I know where I would start.
You know what episode you're on?
Yeah, I know... I roughly know where I quit, but I know what episode I would start at, right? And it would be at the fight of... with the stone statues of Uchiha Madara and the other one. You know that
We're getting deep into anime. Is this the episode?
Yeah, I think this is it.
This is it. All right.
Sorry. So you should stop me, actually, because I'll just keep going.
I think... I don't know. I remember watching Full Metal Alchemist and thinking, wow, I love this. Is great. I need to see more of this.
Yeah.
And then obviously the ones that they kind of a category unto themselves, which is Hunter x Hunter, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece. They just go on forever. They're like episode 1,000 and something, right?
Oh, One Piece is ridiculous now.
Right.
I think only EastEnders has gone on longer than that.
Yeah. And then you go into the other things where the movies start coming out. Ghost in the Shell, Akira, obviously being the godfather of it all. What was it? Trigun,
yeah. Cowboy Bebop. Samurai Champloo. Wait, did you say that just now?
I didn't say Champloo, but Champloo's, Samurai Champloo is like top 3 for me.
Oof.
Top 3, top 5, top 3.
That might
top 3.
Wow, that might have to be another episode discussion.
Yeah, top anime.
I feel that's another episode coming.
But the point is, I've been watching... I'm going to call this episode We Digress.
Yeah.
But the point is, I was watching Sword Art Online.
Yes, which I've also been hearing a lot about.
Which is such a weird experience for me. Now I'm gonna digress again. But the point is, season 1 or the first half of season 1 was amazing.
Right.
And it's for those of you who don't know, Sword Art Online is about 10,000 people.
Yes.
Buy a video game.
Right.
With this equipment that they called full dive nerve gear, which is basically like the Matrix. You plug in, you put this helmet on, you plug in, and then you're in the game.
Jack in.
But you're unconscious. You're lying on your bed with this gear on your head.
Okay.
And then you're in an RPG. You're in an MMO. You're in the equivalent of World of Warcraft.
Right.
And then basically day 1, this guy turns around and goes, "Oh, by the way, you can't log out."
What?
And they say if someone in the real world tries to pull the helmet off your head, you'll die. If someone tries to unplug the internet, you'll die. And then it's
wow. So what happens if you get a dodgy internet connection?
Oh, you log off, and so this is the thing.
What?
There's a moment where people started getting transferred to hospitals,
right?
And so the body was still there,
right?
But they were just unconscious because they'd gone off the internet. And then when they came back to the internet, it's like breaking connection.
Right.
They came back because the internet kicked in. But if you die in the game, you die in real life. That was the whole point.
Harsh.
And so you have to beat 100 levels, 100 dungeons to get to the top.
Yeah, yeah.
Season 1 was amazing. It was great. It was deep. It was dark. It had all these weirdness in it. What would you do if you're in the game? What was happening in the real world? Second half of the season, it's like the guy just lost his mind.
What do you mean?
Well, the writer just was like, yeah, we need to like make it really pervy and like we need to draw more boobs and do. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? Like, what?
Right. So it started going into that way of
that
anime.
way of
right,
anime.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point was I was thinking about anime games.
Okay.
And I was like, what makes, and this is the question I have for you, what makes anime anime and what makes an anime game anime? Do you understand?
Break it down.
Okay, so when I say to you, what is anime, you would say, go.
Anime to me is the art style. It's the over the top style. It's the
so you said style twice, right? So this is already proving like going in the direction I need to do. So.
Well, hold on. Let me try and separate that a little bit. So there is there is an art style to anime. Okay, 100% sure. It's like the bedrock of anime. But then let's pick action sequences for example. You know, certain action sequences in anime are wildly over the top stylized, right?
Yeah,
that's what I mean. So you have the bedrock style of your aesthetic, what anime looks like.
Yeah,
that differentiates it from say like a Disney 2D cartoon, right? But then with fight sequences or certain action sequences in anime, they're wildly over the top, and it's not something that you would necessarily see in say like a Disney 2D film.
Would you call Castlevania on Netflix an anime?
For sure. That's
an anime.
For sure.
But would you call Gargoyles an anime?
Why you got to invoke gargoyles?
Do you know? No, stay with me.
Why you got involved my clan?
I know that you're a big fan. That's why I picked it. But
that rattled me.
What doesn't make Gargoyles an anime? Not that obviously it's a Western show.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm saying aesthetically, why isn't it considered anime? And also, why is Pokemon on the fence when you say anime?
Why is Pokemon on the fence?
What's the difference between like a cartoon and an anime?
Oh wow, that's a difficult question, but let me see if I can get around it. Right.
Gotcha.
So if I see what you did there. Yeah. You watch. I got bout shots for you, bruv. No, I don't really. Gargoyles versus say Pokemon or Castlevania. Gargoyles is oh man. I mean, you do have a 2D style with Gargoyles, right?
Yeah.
And to be fair to Gargoyles, it does have its own unique style. It's kind of closer to a Disney aesthetic, but not really. But the thing with Gargoyles is that, see, it does have a lot of action sequences and stuff like that.
That's why I picked it.
Yeah. No, good choice. It does have a lot of fight sequences. It does have a lot of action sequences, and they're very like, sit on the edge of your seat kind of stuff. But it doesn't have the same, and this isn't to take away from it at all, but it doesn't have the same purposeful flair or panache
of anime.
Of anime.
I agree.
If you look at I don't know, if you look at Hellsing, for example, when they're fighting, it's just like you just see mad streaks of slash colors everywhere, and that always, they managed to do this thing in anime which is one of my favorite things, when people are moving quickly, when people are moving like really, really fast. I think in Bleach they actually named it like there was one character with who was brown skinned with purple hair, and I think she called it a split step or something like that. I think it was Bleach. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments.
Up if you know. I'm sure people are out there going, it's this one.
But I do remember that character specifically. Anyway, but yeah, like it's those certain things that give anime its signature, whereas you don't necessarily see that in say like gargoyles. Now, having said that,
Having said that,
Avatar,
The Last Airbender. Yeah.
Even though it's not...
Is that anime?
See, this is what I was going to say. I was
going
to say that I'm not sure what I'm going to say.
Well, I don't know. I
think it sits a comfortable middle somehow.
Yeah, I think because it's interesting because something like, for example, Samurai Jack is a cartoon. But it has this weird kind of like, is reverence the right word? People are looking at it like anybody could watch this. It's so artistic. It's so stylish that it kind of ascends what people think cartoons are. Cartoons are for kids. That's what the general consensus is, that cartoons are for children. And then there are certain things where it's so artistic and the aesthetic is so high that it kind of ascends
it just transcends,
and becomes something else.
Yeah.
And I think...
And Samurai Jack is a very unique style as well.
I've not seen anything like it, like before or since. I think they tried to do a Luke Cage comic book run. They did do a Luke Cage comic book run.
They did,
in the Sam Jack style.
Yeah, I think I've got the first issue of that. Yeah.
So anime, I think anime for me is that it is done. I think it's created seriously. I think it's not done in a. We're trying to entertain children. I think it's done in a way of like, this is how we tell our stories. This is. It's just, it is cinema. It's something that isn't like we're trying to, like I said, we're not trying to entertain children. This is we're trying to tell a story, and the aesthetic is part of the toolkit that we'll use. Not unlike, for example, Edgar Wright uses the camera to enhance the comedy.
Yes.
And the transitions are part of the storytelling.
The
art
he does
style
do that quite a lot,
in anime is part of the story.
Yes, that's it. That's a good way of putting it.
And I think that things like Full Metal Alchemist has ways of people going, oh, you're watching cartoons. Like, sit down and watch the Chimera episode. And then tell me...
we're watching a cartoon.
That we're watching a cartoon.
Yeah, no, completely agree with that.
Do you know what I mean? And it's the same, they do these hard-hitting moments, and they're done in such a way artistically that you're like, this is dark. Like, this is a moment. And obviously there are, like... Akira isn't considered a light film. It's not something you'd show your kids.
No.
Ghost in the Shell, exactly the same. She tries to in Ghost in the Shell, she tries to rip a tank off, rips her own arms off.
And she rips her own arms off, Tetsuo just turns into
a
big old gelatinous.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Akira, please watch it.
Please watch that before they make the film.
That Taika's doing, right? Taika Waititi's doing it.
Apparently.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
We'll see. So anyway, my point is, can you say the same thing for a Japanese RPG or a video game a la Persona 5, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball FighterZ, whatever? Dragon Ball FighterZ is a bit more obvious because that is clearly anime. And obviously, Persona 5 has anime segments in it.
Yeah.
So you can say, well, it's an anime because it's got these like clear anime segments in it. But would you call it, because you Google anime games and you're going to get a list.
That's true.
So why? Why is that an anime game?
But it comes back, I think it comes back down to that bedrock style of drawing Japanese art / anime. I think it just comes back down to that.
The art style.
It's definitely specific. For me, it's definitely specifically the art style. Take the story out of it for a sec, right?
Yeah.
Even though I've not played Persona 5, right? I've kind of seen you play it a couple of times.
Yeah.
And it does look amazing. I don't know what's going on in that story, but, I could walk into the room, not know what that game is called, and be like, he's playing an anime game.
He's playing an anime game.
That's it. Just because of those bedrock signatures. I mean...
But we wouldn't call Final Fantasy an anime game.
Absolutely not.
Because it's not, right?
Because it's not. I mean, even...
So there's a clear divide of it, like, just because it's Japanese does not make it an anime game.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very, very clear. But when you're watching something like Final Fantasy, the hairstyles...
Yes.
The way that they portray the characters, the way they portray the female, like it's very specific, and that does those lines blur. You know what I mean?
They do blur, yeah, because it's almost as though they're borrowing from the bedrock of what anime is at its core.
Yeah,
for me, aesthetically anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So I find that blurs. I mean, like I said, I've watched It's funny now because I've watched so much anime in my time, and obviously I'm old school.
Yeah.
They've started doing this thing where they started making 3D anime.
Well, I mean, yeah, they started.
Not a fan.
I'm not a fan
Dragon's
of that.
Dogma, nah. Don't get me wrong, Dragon's Dogma is worth watching, but the characters are 3D animated.
They started doing that with the Vampire Hunter D sequel. At least that's the first time I saw it.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, that's the first time I saw it when that came out, probably 20 years ago now. I was looking really forward to that. Have you seen Vampire Hunter D?
Sure, like...
Probably moons ago, right?
Yeah, back in day.
I mean, I got the thing. You can borrow it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's classic, you know?
I appreciate it.
But yeah, I remember I was really excited for it. I was like, oh, wow, sequel to Vampire Hunter D. Put this thing in now, which was probably a VHS at the time. I can't remember. Wasn't feeling it because they tried to blend the 2D animation style with this weird 3DS Studio Max sort of style. And it just didn't... It took me straight out of it. I couldn't really sit with it.
Well, that's Dragon's Dogma is the same. It done this thing where it was like the backgrounds were all drawn, but the monsters and the beasts in it and the main characters were all 3D animated, but not incredibly well, in my opinion.
Right.
And I feel like it reminded me of like Saturday morning, like young child's cartoon, like Paw Patrol levels of like 3D animation.
Yeah. And
I'm just feeling like I get it because obviously the system and the art that goes into creating anime, the hand drawn, the stuff, is work.
It is,
and I imagine it's actually a lot faster. I think with the 3D stuff.
Yeah.
To do surely in a computer, right?
Yeah.
But I don't like it because I watch Fire Force and they kind of mix the two. But Fire Force is still very much like hand-drawn animations, and they do these amazing maneuvers when it's like high frame rates, right?
Yeah, I was talking to my friend about Fire Force recently. He was like, "That's hard.
It's so good.
Watch it."
I'm only like 3 episodes in. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. but then you look at something like Sword Art, and it doesn't do these high frame rate moments, but it's all hand-drawn, and I'm okay with it. It just seems like the evolution of anime is hopefully, you know, they'll keep it traditional, and we'll still see some hand-drawn stuff like all the greats, man. Bebop, Shampoo, Full Metal. What else have I been watching? You know, Akira. They're all hand drawn. They're all the lighting, the cubing when things blow up and they go cube.
Yeah.
It's just Psycho-Pass is something I was watching recently that I kind of enjoyed.
You know,
Castlevania.
Yeah, for sure.
It shows you can still do it. Blood of Zeus, by the way, October 27th.
Yeah, I want to get involved in that.
It's supposed to be very, very good. Comes out on Netflix.
I think, you know, bringing it back around to the gaming.
Sorry, yeah.
This episode is literally called, but I digress. Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Arc System Works.
Right, yeah. Now, I think about Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I think about the Dragon Ball games that I've played in the past. Right?
Dragon Ball FighterZ is a beat 'em up, by the way.
It is a beat 'em up.
It's a fighting game.
Sorry, guys, for withholding information there. I think about the other games that I've played in the past. The first Dragon Ball fighting game that I played was, I think it was on the Super Nintendo.
When was that? Xenoverse, I think it was called Xenoverse.
I can't remember what it was called on Super Nintendo.
But there were those arena fighters like Jump Force.
Well, those are more like the PlayStation sort of eras now. But back then, it was just kind of it was kind of following the Street Fighter kind of setup, where it was just, you know, 1-on-1 on this flat sort of.
Oh yes, yeah.
And obviously, I was fresh off of watching Dragon Ball then. Now, I liked the game. Like I do remember liking it very, very much because it was, oh wow, this is Dragon Ball, right? And I realized, you know, looking back at it, it didn't. I mean, even though it had, say, like, you know, the signature moves like the Kamehameha and all the rest of that stuff, it wasn't. The art style for me wasn't there. I mean, you had like the crazy hair and, you know, when he turned Super Saiyan and all the rest of it, and, you know, the clothes and stuff like that, done to the best of its ability at the time, I suppose.
Yeah, with the system.
Yeah, but fast forwarding now to Dragon Ball FighterZ, I look at that and I'm like, that is Dragon Ball. Yeah, that is the Dragon Ball that we should have had from time ago. I mean, obviously technology permitting, but that is Dragon Ball.
Well, because it looks like an anime.
And you get involved in it. It's like you are playing this anime. You are interacting with some of your favorite characters from
and all
yesterday,
the story modes
and all the story modes and all the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even sure if Naruto has done that yet.
I would love if Arc System Works did a Dragon Ball Fighters game with the Naruto characters.
Yeah,
that would be so good.
Yeah.
Because they did Granblue Versus, which I didn't get at all. I was like, why have you done that? Like, it would make sense. I think doing like a Naruto fighting game a la Dragon Ball Fighters, dude, you've got the characters; they're all there.
It's true. It's true. Let me pose a question to you real quick, right? All right. Do you think that making, say, beat 'em ups, or RPGs in general, more to an anime style, do you think it's viable in the future for like gaming audiences? Like, do you think it will be something that would catch on? Because I feel as though at the moment it's still pretty niche, right? Let me use Dragon Ball Fighters and Guilty Gear as an example. Guilty Gear, we just watched the trailer. I'm looking at that and I'm like, that is an anime beat 'em up that I want to play.
But it's the aesthetic of Guilty Gear has always been amazing. Yeah.
But I still feel as though that those things are very niche. Like the anime style in games is very, very. You know what I mean?
I like that because everything. We're at a point now in gaming where there isn't really anything cool. There's no such thing as bad graphics anymore. Everything is an artistic choice.
Yeah.
We're in an artistic choice now, whereas before everything wanted to be photoreal and but now we're in a point where games are coming out like Among Us that are selling, getting like 4 billion views on Twitch and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's, it's a 2D hand-drawn game. Same with like Drive to Survive, which is another game, a survival game that just dropped. It doesn't look like much, but people are loving it. Like graphics, they're not everything anymore.
Right.
And
have we plateaued?
I don't think we've plateaued. I don't. I think that the beautiful thing is now people can make great games that don't have to look a certain way. And we're getting these little subgenres of gaming now where you're getting isometric games, you're getting 2D games, you're getting Metroidvania games. And I hope that anime games, I'm going to come back full circle if this makes sense.
Please.
But like, I hope that it doesn't catch on. I hope that it stays niche.
Wow.
I hope that it stays niche and stays very specific.
Right.
Because I think that
you don't want it to get diluted.
Yeah. I don't want it. I don't want that because I love that style.
Yeah.
I don't want them to do the, it catches on and everybody tries to copy it and they copy it badly.
True.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Let them get on with it. Let the Japanese do what they do. And I think we'll be fine.
I hear that.
And the Koreans as well. They do some good stuff too.
Yeah. You just made me think of another question. Now, you were saying that artistic choice aesthetically in gaming now is very much a thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Right? Very, very much a thing. And, we're cool with it. If the game is good, the game is good. But we're getting more powerful systems. We're about to enter an age of more powerful systems. PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series X. Do you feel like that there will be a need to make more powerful systems if we're still going to have quote unquote artistic choice games? Because then what warrants you having that kind of system power? Does that make sense?
Right, so do we need these monster machines to run the games?
Basically,
that we're playing?
I could have just said that.
No, because I want to see AAA developers. I want to see big names make big games.
Right.
I still want to see, the Titans, dropping their hammer and stretching these machines out to see what they can do.
Right.
And develop monster games. And I still want to see what you can do when the screen is going mental and the frame rates don't drop. And, you've got more on the screen and, the load times are 0. And, I definitely want to see developers push the games to push the systems to their limits. But I also love that it still leaves plenty of room for people that don't need to do all that. Ori and the Blind Forest is a phenomenal game. Like, it is beautiful and the music is amazing. It's a 2D like Metroidvania style. And It is stunning. It doesn't. It's not even. It's not even a scratch on the PS5. It doesn't even make it think.
Yeah. Not enough to get the fans worrying.
No, not enough to not even to sweat it, right?
Yeah.
But I like that we've gotten to a point where indie games are starting to become a big deal.
Right.
And I think that as long as there's always room for them on the system,
yeah.
I think if they turned around and were like, yeah, we don't need to make new PlayStations anymore because developers aren't making big games for it anymore, that makes me sad because there's room at the table for everyone. I feel like let the big dogs make the big games.
Yeah.
But let's still have room for the indies who are coming out of nowhere and making monsters.
Cool. No,
what do you think?
No, do you know? Sorry, no, I was listening to you, but I just thought of a really sick battle shots here.
Oh my god, I was really hitting that mark then.
No, you were. That was awesome, but I went ahead into the future for a second and then just came back. But no, yeah, I completely.
I think there's room at the table for everyone, and I think that I love that indie games are coming out thick and fast.
Yeah,
I love that. I play a lot of indie games now. We wouldn't have games like Amnesia, and we wouldn't have games like Darkwood, and we wouldn't have games like Ori. There's a bunch of indie games that have come out that you just think, oh my god, these are.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Do you know what? I think I've got a secret worry, if I can't find a better word. That I just ask myself, how can you push graphically? Because we're at this stage where
they probably thought that about with the Super Nintendo,
They probably did, right?
They probably thought the same thing when they were like, how can you do more? Like, where do you go from here?
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. But, we play stuff now that is so visually realized to the point where it's just
photoreal.
It's just photorealism, right? How do you get beyond photorealism? That's the question.
What
can you do?
This is the thing, and this is a great question because I feel like it gets to a point where you can't rely on your game looking amazing anymore.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah. I mean, it's getting to a stage where you think, great, your game looks phenomenal. I feel like I could touch it's raining in the game, and if I touch my screen, my hand, I come back wet.
Wet. Yeah, hear that.
Right? That's amazing.
That's great.
But if the game's trash and plays like shit, then the game's bad.
Or if the story's bait.
Order 1664. Remember that one?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Now, that game was amazing to look at.
Yeah.
But there was nothing in it.
Oh, really?
It just didn't play very well, and it had a short runtime, right? It doesn't matter how good your game is. If the mechanics are bad, the story's dreadful, and nothing happens. You could have a game that just blows your mind. It looks great on a TV and does well, but if there's nothing to do, or the mechanics are dreadful, which is why I think now we're getting to a point where devs are able... Anthem looks great. Rubbish. Right? I think it's getting to a point where Avengers, it looks alright, but...
Yeah.
I mean, that game's almost dead already. 6 months, not even 6 months. So...
That game has been out 2 months. What?
If that. And they've had to push back the release of the new character, and they're pushing back... But anyway, the whole point is, like, it is forcing devs to come up with new and interesting ways for games to be played mechanically. And now we're sitting there going, well, my game doesn't need to look amazing because this mechanic is great and we can go down that art style, and we're back to anime. It's a case of now the aesthetic, the choice of the aesthetic is now complementing how we play our games. The art style is complementing the mechanics. And we're not in a position anymore where it's like, yeah, it looks great, but it plays rubbish. It's like this guy's picked a game. He's picked an isometric RPG. He's picked a 2D platformer game. It's not photoreal. But my God, what a great game. The soundtrack, It's forcing people to be more creative with the other elements of gameplay, with the other elements of gaming. Whether it's the music, whether it's the aesthetic, whether it's the mechanics, whether it's the narration, whether it's the story. You can't just rely on a game looking great anymore.
Yeah, it's true. Because, people are going to need to have that justification of why they have not only fought out for that game, but fought out for the system that they're going to play it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is going to be a degree of that.
Yeah. You can't turn me and say, if a game was amazing to look at, but had terrible mechanics, you'd be like, yeah, but calm, it looks great, doesn't it? It's like the peak of visual mastery or whatever. Yeah. You would be like, no, it's rubbish.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
Do you think same?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's got to be... Yeah.
We're playing Darkwood right now. It's a top-down.
It's like horror Zelda.
It's like horror Zelda. It's like horror GTA 1.
Yeah, basically.
But it's amazing.
It is very, very good.
It's great.
It's very, very atmospheric. And you know, I'm calm with the art style. Like I've got no qualms with it, because what they do is they just know how to use their elements to create this really sort of enclosing atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And the mechanics are good as well. The inventory system works. Yeah.
Do you think, okay, here's the question. Do you think, going back to anime and using what we've just said, where can they go next?
Who?
Anime. Where can anime go next if it's got to a point now where they have mastered the artistic style of
I don't want them to go anywhere next.
Anime. Well, then, because it's coming down to the fact that, right, we know that they look good, but we're relying more on a good story now.
Yeah, true.
Other aspects are now becoming more important. Akira looked amazing, but the story was great.
Yes, yeah. So
you know, they're going into this 3D anime land now.
Yeah.
Thinking that may be the next evolutionary step of that. But I think actually keep the style that you've got, because it's perfect, and focus on other things, like what they do with sound, or how creative they are with the storytelling within that. Yeah. The color,
I mean, you know, it's always... It's like you were saying a little while before. It would be nice for them to keep their traditional sort of style. If they feel that they want to push the 3D bit, then, you know, I'm happy for them to evolve that way if they can get it right. No pressure.
Yeah. And they're good for trying. Good for them for trying.
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
You've got to try and push that envelope, right? So hats off for trying. So yeah, I do hope to see a day whereby somehow they've perfectly married that 3D style and that 2D style into
Arc System Works developer style.
Yeah, they should just go to Arc System Works and say, look, how do we do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
They should. Or Arc System Works just start making anime. Yeah. Done.
Well, it's that thing of like, you know, I always say, you know, they made that Warcraft film. This might have nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I'm just firing what's in this. Yeah. You know the Warcraft film?
Yeah.
Back in the day, the live action one.
Yeah, the one that we clocked, the one that we watched.
The one with the guy from Vikings.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was bad, right?
Yeah.
But Blizzard keep putting out these amazing things that I've shown you. You know, the cinematics,
the cinematic trailers. Yeah.
Why not just do a movie like that?
I've never understood that. How are you going to put out cinematic trailers that look phenomenal, but your film is bait? You know, how do you do that?
Why would you put in live action when you're like, dude, we just put out the most cinematic things we can find? Just make a 90-minute version of that, and I'll watch the life out of it.
Right?
And it's, you know, we're getting to a point now where live action doesn't necessarily mean big, bougie, and better. True, right?
Yeah, no, I hear that.
We're getting to a point where, because things are live action, look what Disney are doing with Lion King and Mulan and and all these things. They're making live action versions of everything. They are not better. They are not bigger, and they are not bougier.
No, they're really not.
They're not.
There's been a few complaints, let's say, about those things, but that's another digression.
But it's just a case of animation is sometimes the way to go, because don't write off animation. Don't write off artistic choice or aesthetic choice, because 9 times out of 10 it's part of the package.
It is part of the package.
And if you take that out, you've got Beauty and the Beast.
The
live action version. That hurt my feelings, man.
I've not tried to lay eyes on that yet. Is it not?
No. Do you have a Disney favorite?
Yeah.
Which one?
Sleeping Beauty.
You've told me this.
Yeah, I was thinking, did we have this discussion?
Sleeping Beauty, that's right.
Sleeping Beauty is my favourite.
That's a proper.
And it's purely for Maleficent.
Yeah, she's a bad girl.
She's a rude girl. She's like, what? You don't invite me to the party, yeah? What is that? What's going on?
Is it all mine?
Right, watch. Watch what I'm gonna do to your daughter in it. Like, don't watch that.
That's so funny. I was blessed. Yeah. Oh, mine's Beauty and the Beast.
Is yours Beauty and the Beast? Like the original 2D?
That gothic style.
Yeah.
The roaring, the snout, all of that.
Yeah.
Go ahead and starve. Bad man.
But hold on a minute. What about the original Aladdin?
The Disney Aladdin. Yeah, man, look, Robin Williams. I mean, he's like the OG, right? I mean, I love Aladdin. Where are we going?
Yeah. What have we done?
Why are we here? Anyway, battle shots. Let's go. Let's
battle shots. Yeah. All right. I've got a good one for you. Yeah. I'll make it real quick. We're gonna have Vegeta. Yeah. And we're gonna have.
Vegeta's strong. That's a tough one. You better bring someone real good.
We're going to have, what is his name? Is it Monkey D. Luffy? From One Piece.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm going Vegeta.
You're going Vegeta straight away?
Straight away.
What? Wait, hold on a minute. Explain to me why.
Because he's a bad man, and he's Vegeta. I mean, look, he's the...
So, notwithstanding the fact that Monkey D. Luffy, isn't he a pirate?
I don't know enough about One Piece as well. And I know that he's like mad strong.
Yeah.
But I love Vegeta.
Yeah, but bruv,
I gotta stand by my boy. He's my. Yeah, I'm. You know.
Nah, man. Like, look. Monkey D. Luffy, from as much as I know about One Piece, from One Piece, pirate.
Yeah.
Don't pirates drink rum, fam?
Oh, we just going basic. We're just going basic. Oh, just because he's a pirate, he drinks. He's 17.
Yeah, he's old enough.
Oh, bro, like that, yeah.
No, he's not.
All right, calm.
All right,
don't drink.
Is he 17?
It says,
it's got to be older than that by now.
Yeah, it says at the age of now, yeah, maybe at the age of 17, Luffy sets sail for the East Blue Sea to the Grand Line in search of the legendary treasure One Piece.
Alrighty then.
I think Vegeta's a bad man. I think he's hard as nails. Vegeta would probably be one of those people that train so hard he probably doesn't drink though. But he's been drinking in the show, right?
I'm sure he has.
He must have done.
He must have. But I don't know. I feel with Vegeta, he bodies his temple sort of thing.
That would be his downside.
I think that would be his downfall. So
I don't know. Oh, I'm going Vegeta just because he's my boy. Okay, okay, animes. All right, I'll give you one.
Okay.
I'll give you one.
All right.
How about Edward Elric from
Full Metal
Alchemist. And
yeah, but isn't he like, how old is he?
Yeah, he's old enough. All right, fine. You want to play this game? All right, let's say Tetsuo and what's his name from Cowboy Bebop?
Spike Spiegel. Right. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Who would win in battle shots? I think.
If you disagree with him, blow up his phone, innit?
I mean, all right. Tetsuo's not even old enough, but they frequent the bars because that's just their environment. So I'm allow that. Yeah. So having said that,
apparently in the movie he owns a bar in the new movie.
What?
Tetsuo, yeah. Something like that. Anyway, go on.
I'm going to say... Oh, this is hard. This is actually hard. I'm going to give it to Tetsuo.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm really biting my lip about this, but... Yeah.
I'm very surprised.
Why?
Because Spike Spiegel drinks a lot.
But so do them lot. And plus, they're on some...
They're a motorcycle gang, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So they're just hard.
All right, fine. Well, as always, guys, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. On that massive roller coaster.
That was a weird one. It's a weird week. We understand. Yeah. We kind of was all over the joint on this one.
No, I feel like we pulled it together. I feel like we came full circle a good few times, but it was cool.
I don't know how we ended up at Disney.
Yeah. Where did we turn with that? What happened?
Anyway, you know what? Yeah, Beauty and the Beast is bad. Gee, watch that.
Sleeping Beauty, fam.
Anyway, thanks guys for listening to us. Really appreciate it. Always hit us up on Instagram if you want. We're at Tones and the Biz.
And hit
we're
us
on
up on YouTube,
wherever we upload these sessions every Wednesday.
Yes.
But thanks for hanging out, guys. We really appreciate it. And if you have any animes you want to chat about or you want to chat to us about,
just hit us in those comments.
Yeah, hit us up in the comments. Or you think of any battle shots that are worth doing, or if you heard anything that you think is better than let us know.
If you disagree with any of us, please let us know.
Yeah,
we're happy to have a conversation.
Oh yeah. All right, guys,
just keep it simple.
Have a good one. Take it easy.
Take it easy.
Bye.